Welcome, brave explorers of the unknown, to Dark Sayings Live Midnight Mystery Session Secrets in the Shadows. I'm Pete, your humble master of mysteries and antiquary of the arcane, ready to lead you through a moonlit maze where history whispers, shadows stir, and the unexplained beckons. Here at Dark Sayings, with our 32,000 strong community of curious minds, we dive headfirst into conspiracies, paranormal phenomenon, extraterrestrial enigmas, occult traditions, religious mysteries, and historical puzzles, always chasing truth with a spark of wonder. Tonight, the clock strikes midnight, and we're stepping into 5 chilling, obscure tales that'll make you feel the goosebumps of those who lived them. Picture yourself in 1955 Kentucky, in a farmhouse, guns blazing against glowing goblins, or breathing the acidic air of a 1944 gassers attack. We'll wander ancient Egyptian skies, unravel the Rosicrucians' cryptic rites, and sail for the lost shores of Atlantis. For the next 45 minutes, we'll leave these mysteries together, followed by a 10-minute Q&A to hear your thoughts. So light a candle, join the live chat, and let's uncover the secrets in the shadows. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and let's dive in with us. Your journey into the unknown starts now. 5 topics, folks. How y'all doing? Good to see you all, one and all. Happy to be here this evening. I appreciate you tuning in and spending as much time with us as you can. If you are not aware, a glorious return has come to the channel. I have finally posted the first long-form video that I've made in quite some months. It was an intense labor of love as I chased every wisp and willow of this particular topic for the last 5 years. Yes, 5 years ago, I came across a mysterious blog post that sparked my curiosity regarding a strange occurrence from the Untersberg Mountains, an ancient prophecy, Mesopotamian connections, and apparitions of Babylonian goddesses. So, if you've missed out on today's earlier upload, I strongly encourage you to check out my most recent video about the Untersberg prophecies. Now, without any further ado, you know how we're going to do it. We will get into our topics tonight. In between, we will likely do some polls, and from there on in, have a little chat. So, in between topics, we'll chat it up, and we'll roll right along with that. I want to say thank you to our live chat moderator, Miss Tina Tomaszewski, for being here tonight. Appreciate you one and all tuning in. I see fun with comics, cards, and culture here. Hi, I'm in. Good to see you. How you do? DJ Lewis, Rose Beck, RR. Been a minute, RR. Edward Sosa. How y'all been? Good to see you. Let's get into it. Topic number 1, everybody. The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter, aliens or owls. All right. Close your eyes. Imagine it's August 21st, 1955. You're in a creaky Kentucky farmhouse. The air thick with summer heat, and something's outside. Something not human. The Kelly Hopkinsville encounter is one of the wildest UFO tales ever, where a family swore they battled glowing creatures from a spaceship. Were these aliens or just shadows playing tricks? Let's step into that night. You're huddled with 12 others, heart pounding, as small silver creatures, 3 feet tall with glowing yellow eyes, scuttle towards your farmhouse. Billy Ray Taylor, sweating, swears he saw a UFO streak across the sky and land nearby. You grab a shotgun, firing at these things, their claw-like hands glinting, but they dodge, flipping like acrobats in the moonlight. The air's tense, filled with the crack of gunfire, yet no blood, no bodies, just eerie silence when you stop shooting. Police arrive, their flashlights sweeping the yard, but find nothing. You're left shaking, wondering what you fought. Now, UFO fans, picture standing among 1950s saucer enthusiasts, buzzing about this case. 12 witnesses, all swearing by the same story. These glowing goblins birthed the little green men trope, haunting sci-fi from comics to Spielberg's unmade Night Skies. You're reading reports linking it to later abductions, feeling the thrill of a cosmic puzzle. But there's a hitch. No spaceship fragments, no claw marks, just the family's raw fear. You're left wondering if this is the real deal or a tale grown tall. Now imagine you're a skeptic peering into the Kentucky night. Experts whisper that great horned owls, their eyes flashing in the dark, could have sparked this panic. A meteor shower lights up the sky, and you wonder if it fueled UFO talk. The family is isolated, stressed. Maybe their minds were a shared nightmare. You're flipping through Project Blue Book now, seeing hoax stamped on the case. No tracks or evidence found. Psychologists murmur about mass hysteria, where fear feeds fear. So are you facing aliens or just shadows of the mind? Step into modern Kentucky, where the Hopkinsville goblins live on. You're at a festival, the air buzzing with locals retelling the tale, their eyes wide. Comic books and games like Pathfinder's Hopkins paint these creatures in vivid color. Online, you're scrolling forums, seeing blurry 1955 photos shared with fervent debate. The story's alive, a mix of fear and fascination. All right, we're going to do a live poll. I want to know what you guys think of this one. Are these aliens or owls? What is lurking out there? You're going to drop your vote in the chat for me. We're going to get to this. Let me fire this all up. So listen, while I get this set up, I want you to picture this. You're still in that farmhouse. The silence heavy. Why did 12 people see the same glowing eyes, those claws? Could isolation twist fear into vivid hallucinations? If owls, where's the evidence? Feathers, tracks. Is the lack of proof a cover-up or just a rural legend? And what does this tell you about humanity's need to name the shadows? Hit the chat with your thoughts. All right, let's get that poll up. Start a poll. Hopkinsville. Goblins or owls? I want to know what you guys think. What do you think? Was this a hoax? Was this the real deal? I've always been fascinated, particularly by the Hopkinsville Goblin story, as it is such an account of high strangeness. Like, there's really bizarre stuff going on here for the most part. You know, I mean, we're really dealing with some off the wall stuff. You know, these 12 people who's a family, a couple guests, experiencing a night of true terror. For any lack of better explanation. So it's really weird stuff here that we're absolutely dealing with in this case. So where are we at? What do you guys think? Let's check out that poll. We got some votes going on here. We voting it up? I'm just seeing 4 votes pouring in. 4 votes so far. Where are we at? We got about 21 people watching right now. Hey, I want to thank all of you for tuning in tonight. I really do appreciate you being here. I am quite honored to for you to consider me worthy of your time. You know, it really does mean a lot to me that you would spend any amount of time listening to any of the crazy stuff that I'm talking about. So yes, I do appreciate it. Absolutely. All right, where are we at here? Trying to get my chat, seems to be all wonky. Let's see here. Live chat. Let's get that all back going. Tina, can I get a test in the chat? I want to see if everything matches up here. Okay, so it does. We are matching up very well. Thank you. Thank you very much. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to let that poll run for a minute. Hey, lovely Sherry tuning on in. How do you do, the lovely Sherry? And again, Tina Tomaszewski, thank you very much. She just dropped the link to our newest video here on the channel regarding the Untersberg prophecies. Really proud of that one. It's not a well-known one, folks. It's super obscure. So I had a comment earlier today regarding the obscure nature of this new topic and how we will see who's paying attention, because a lot of people are going to take this one and run with it now that it's out there. So we'll see who's been watching this stuff behind the scenes, who's been keeping tabs on me. You know, I'm just saying, if one of these 3 and 4 million subscriber channels starts talking about the Untersberg prophecy, you're going to know it came from one place and one place alone, right? So let's do it. Let's do it. All right, let's see where the chat is right now. I'm going to leave about another minute on that poll. Looks like so far, goblins are edging out owls by a large margin. We're talking 88% of those goblins to 12% of those owls. All right, hurry up and get your votes in. I'm going to shut that poll down in just a moment. We're going to move on. Move right along, because time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. All right. Okay, the poll's shifting a little bit. Hey, look, this is a resounding indictment of the Hopkinsville Goblins I'm seeing right here. The owl theory is out. It's done. We're not messing with no owls here. Not happening. Not happening one bit. All right, we're going to shut this poll down here. in just a moment. Get your votes in. Jake Carr popping in the room. How you doing, Jake? Good to see you, my man. Always a pleasure. Hey, I really, I'm thankful that we can do this again. I'm glad we're back into the swing of things. I'm trying to be a little more consistent. I don't know if you guys caught them earlier in the week. I have been uploading shorts recently. Now, regrettably, I had a little setback this week. I filmed 5 shorts for the week, obviously for Monday through Friday. The intention was to get my long form video, the Untersberg Prophecies, which went up today. That was to be posted Wednesday, but I fell completely far behind. Because of that, the Wednesday video didn't go up. And then the 2 shorts, I didn't get around to editing those either. So we're going to reserve those for the coming week. You don't expect any uploads on Sundays. That's the day I'm going to take off to do a lot of the planning and prep. So we will be uploading, hopefully, Monday through Saturday with some high level of consistency. And, just getting back into the swing of things. But I'm happy to do this. It's become a labor of love, and I'm back into the habit. So yeah, it feels good to create again. Anyway, let's shut down that poll. It's gone a little bit longer than I intended it to, about an extra minute, but I'm glad you got your votes in. So according to the Dark Sayings live chat, the Hopkinsville goblins were goblins and extraterrestrial beings by estimation by a margin of 93%. Owls got a much, much smaller share of the pie with just 6% of the vote. So I think we're going to lean into this one was the real deal. Something happened at that Kentucky farm that night. And I'm inclined to believe that was the case. Something weird this way went. And the Sutton family had to deal with the repercussions. So let's move right along. Thank you, everybody. Listen, do me a favor. Like I said, I don't expect anybody to help support financially. The world has gotten crazy expensive and out of control. If you are in a position to be throwing your money at me, well, hey, listen, I'm not going to turn it down, but I'm not going to ask. What I am going to ask is that if you have a person in your life who shares an interest in these kind of topics, just to give them a heads up that we're here. That's it. Don't hesitate to kind of share these out if you're on social media. I would love to get like a street team together, quote unquote, to get out there and do some real guerrilla marketing on the internet here, try to get the word out. So if you'd be interested in maybe spend a little time helping promote the old stream here, drop me a line, hit me up on a DM somewhere. We'll you and me, Tina, we'll get together, we'll plan, we'll plot, we'll get this stuff rocking and rolling. Anywho, moving right along. Don't want to take too much time up because I know time is of the essence, right? We're going to move on right into the next topic. This is a favorite of mine personally. Phantom attackers have always fascinated me from the tall tales of Spring Heel Jack terrorizing London town all the way up to the subject of our next topic. Now we're going to use our imaginations yet again. Come with me as I spin you a yarn. I want to transport you back to Mattoon, Illinois. The year is 1944. It's September. It's late. Your bedroom is dark, and a sickening, sweet smell creeps in, making your head spin. A shadow moves outside. The mad gasser. Was this a real attacker or a town gripped by wartime terror? Let's breathe in the mystery. So you're in bed when the nausea hits. Your throat is burning with the chemical stench. You hear footsteps outside. The glimpses of shadowy figures vanish into the night. Mattoon is in chaos. Over 20 homes report this mad gasser in just 2 weeks. Your neighbors are frantic, describing dizziness and paralysis and that sickly smell. Newspapers scream headlines and you're locking windows. Your heart is racing. Police scour the streets, but they find no gas, no tracks, just a town on edge. So what is stalking you? Picture yourself whispering with your neighbors, trading theories. Could a rogue chemist be testing poisons in the dark, slipping through alleys? Some believe it's the government running secret World War II experiments. The air is thick with suspicion. Maybe a factory leak is to blame, but no plants are nearby. Online, you'll find posts about a vigilante targeting homes or even a ghostly entity stalking through the fog. There's no proof, just fear. Now, does that make it any less real? So if you're a psychologist in 1944 and you're watching this town unravel, you might suspect mass hysteria. Fueled by wartime nerves, everyone's jumpy, expecting attacks, but no chemical residue turns up. And those symptoms, the dizziness, the panic, they mirror anxiety, not poison. So the media is fanning the flames, and each report is spiking more and more fear. You learn that other towns had gas panics too, a pattern of collective dread. So are you smelling gas or is it just breathing fear? Fast forward, and you're walking Mattoon's quiet streets where the gasser's tale still chills. It's woven into urban legends, inspiring 1950s horror comics and true crime podcasts that dissect the panic. You join a local history tour, hearing how the town embraced its spooky past. Online, you're in forums debating, was it real? So let's do another poll. Was this a real attacker or a collective fear? You're back in that bedroom again. The smell is fading, but the questions linger. Why do the symptoms differ? Some sick, others just scared. Could a prankster have sparked this without a trace? And how does fear ignite a whole community? Is the gasser a mirror for deeper anxieties? And what does this teach us about beliefs in the unseen? So let me know what you think. Let's get that poll up. We're going to keep rocking right along. The Mad Gasser, one of my favorite stories of a phantom attacker. What was it? What do you think it was? What do you think that was? Was it real? Or was it fear? All right, polls going up. Let me know what you think. Down yonder. All right, Monkey Jeebus, what's up? How you been, Monkey Jeebus? Been a while. John aside. Mayorto, hey, that is awesome. Ginger Viking Jesus in the crowd as well. Listen, I really appreciate you guys coming back after all this time. You know, I know that for some of you, it's been many, many years. You've been sticking by my side with this crazy pursuit of strange knowledge. And I really value that. I know I've had my ups and downs over the years. They haven't been exactly the most consistent. And obviously that was really impacted when the kids were born. But, you know, they're getting a little older. They need a little bit less care, a little more time to be able to do these kind of things. And, you know, who needs sleep anyway? What I need to do is get this information out there. There's just too much of it to share and so much to explore. All right, let's see how that poll is looking right now. We've got about just getting started here. It looks like a large percentage of you so far believe the Mad Gasser was a case of mass hysteria. So could this have been fear-driven panic of a phantom attacker out there in the night streets, befouling the air with some strange substance, making his victim swoon with illness? Could be the case. Very well could be the case. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else, brother. Thank you, Ginger Viking Jesus. 3-edged sword. Michael, how you been, man? Me and Mike go way back. In fact, Mike was a guest on my very first live stream back in 2017. I could find no earlier live stream than that. I don't even think I knew how to use those Google Hangouts back then. And how much the world has changed in these many years now. Mike, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here. It's been a long time, man. Thank you. Michael is a great researcher in his own right. When we first met, he presented me with his work on timelines. And it's an incredible undertaking. I would say, honestly, Michael, your magnum opus. Incredible work. But yeah, it really caught me, really caught my attention. Great guy, by the way. Great guy. Good to see you, Mike. All right. So let's see where we're at. We're about 2 minutes into the poll. You got another chance to get your votes in. Get those votes in, folks. We're going for it. We're going for it. Get those votes in. I want to see what you all have to say. You know you can't resist clicking that button. You know, Rose Beach, life happens, Pete. Just glad you're still here. Thank you. Rattlejaw. Whoa, Rattlejaw. Welcome back. Holy smokes. I'm seeing names come out of the woodwork I haven't seen in a long damn time. Listen, folks, I'll tell you, I'm going to reiterate the point. I posted a new video this afternoon. It was a classic old video in the style that you've come to love. It's about 6 minutes long, covering the most obscure story I found in the last 5 years. In fact, it took 5 years to find enough information to make a video about this one. It is about the Uttersberg prophecies, a strange apparition from 800 years ago in the ruins of the city of Nineveh. So I would really appreciate if you get a chance to check that one out, but not only check it out, if you enjoy it, do not hesitate to share it on social media. I need you guys to get out there on the Reddits. I need you guys to get out on the forums. I need you to get out on them sites and let people know what we're doing here. So, I mean, if you can, if you care, let them know. All right. So let's see. 3 minutes in. Let's check that poll. I'm checking the clock as well. We're about 20 minutes in, about to hit topic number 3. The Mad Gasser. Let's end this poll and see what we have to say. Now it says a little bit more split than I expected it to be. A little bit more split than I expected it to be. Ending that poll right now. Let's see the results. According to the chat, the Mad Gasser was a case of fear by a margin of 64% to a 35% that believe the attacker was actually real. So lo and behold, it looks like we believe this Mad Gasser was a case of mass hysteria. So it's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, like these phantom attackers, there are a lot of fun ones. One that sparks my imagination, and one could say this is more of a cryptid encounter, maybe something supernatural in that regard. But there's one that comes from Defiance, Ohio. This is a little bonus one for you. I'm not going to give you the whole story, though. Defiance, Ohio was the 70s werewolf. The Defiance, Ohio werewolf. He attacked a railroad employee with a 2x4. Very strange for a werewolf to attack with a piece of lumber, but that's how it went down. Maybe we'll do a little real werewolf stuff somewhere down the line. The Halloween season is coming up. It is coming up. I've already scheduled the night off. I'm going to be available, so maybe we'll do some kind of Halloween special. It's been a long time since I've done any kind of special event on the holidays, especially a Halloween one. So, maybe we'll outsource to the audience ideas for topics. Maybe we'll do a special where we cover ones that you choose. We could do some kind of voting system. I don't know. We'll figure it out. And we'll move from there. Anyway, good idea. Good idea. I like to incorporate you guys into everything that I can, that's possible for you guys to be incorporated into. So sounds pretty rock and roll to me. All right, we're going to move right along. I'm going to hit topic number 3 now. This is an ancient one. And it's about the Tutuli papyrus. Was this an ancient UFO or is it a modern myth? So we were journeyed to ancient Egypt under a starlit sky in the year 1450 BC. Imagine you're a scribe and you're watching fiery circles dance silently above the Nile. A foul odor stinging your nose. The Tutuli papyrus claims that this happened. But is it proof of ancient UFOs or a modern fabrication? Let's step into the sands of time and explore. So you're standing by the Nile, heart pounding, as circles of fire glide overhead, silent and glowing, unlike any star. The air reeks sharp and strange. This is the Tutuli papyrus tale, supposedly from Thutmose III's reign, found in a Vatican curator's papers in the 1950s. UFologists are shouting aliens, but there's a catch. Only one copy exists. No original. You're left staring at the sky, wondering what you saw. You're in Thutmose III's court, where priests track stars and omens with obsessive detail. But no other text mentions these fiery circles. Odd, right? Egyptians loved poetic tales of gods in chariots, not literal spaceships. The Vatican, where this papyrus surfaced, says it's not in their records. You're holding a quill, wondering if this was all just a scribe's vivid dream. Now you're a skeptic, sifting through dusty files. Experts call this a 20th century fake, pushed by the Fortean Society's love of wild tales. The translations feel too modern, full of holes, say linguists. No Egyptian artifacts hint at UFOs, and similar ancient alien stories often twist old myths. You're squinting at the copied text. Is it a clever hoax or a lost truth? Now, you could be scrolling online where UFO forums are buzzing with Tutuli papyrus snippets. It's in ancient alien books, TV shows, fueling dreams of cosmic Egypt. And social media is alive with posts claiming it's suppressed evidence. though nothing is verified. You're watching sci-fi inspired by these fiery circles, feeling their pull. Was this a real record or a clever fake? You know what I'm going to do, folks? I'm going to rock out with a poll, right? It's time to rock out with a poll. Here we go. We're going to engage everybody. Engage. What is this? I hit the wrong thing? Yeah, I hit the wrong thing, of course. All right, let's see. The Thule Papyrus, ancient stuff. What was the deal here? What was the deal? These ancient tales that come to us, and this wouldn't be the only time you see these kind of claims in the ancient world. It would not, and that's kind of what that whole ancient alien stuff is built upon. These ideas that at some point there was contact in the ancient world, and considering some of the megalithic structures, it'd be easy to assume that that's really the case. Now, as I mentioned in the last show, I don't know how I feel about the UFO question anymore. It's something that's become a matter of debate for me. I used to believe wholeheartedly that there was definitely life out there. But, the more that I've researched these topics, the more years that have gone by, I wonder if they've been here all along. Those ultra terrestrials, maybe they're hiding somewhere. All right, polls up. Let's do it. All right, Thule Papyrus, this is a real record or a clever fake? Hit the chat with your votes. Let's see. All right. So let's before I digress too far, let's go back to the Nile. The circles, they're gone, but the questions still burn. Could this be a meteor swarm, misread as divine? Why is no original papyrus surfaced? Does its absence prove a scam, or is it a hidden relic? How do ancient tales shape our UFO dreams? And why do we crave stories of cosmic visitors? Let me know why. What do you think? What do you all think? Let me know. Drop your stuff in the chat, right? That's where we're at. Drop it in the chat. All right, just checking the chat here. Sorry, I zoned out a second. I was reading this. Some statements made about Enkidu from RR regarding the potential for Enkidu to have been a werewolf. Enkidu is regarded as a wild man, so it is a possibility there was some kind of animalistic nature to Enkidu. And RR does remark that it is a broad description. Very much so. Monkey Jeebus suggests that they have been here a long time, and I do think that's the case, Monkey Jeebus. I think that there's been a long time present breakaway civilization on this planet, and who knows where they're located. Under the sea, in the etheric plane, as the Theosophists might claim. Just popping open my energy drink here. All right, good stuff. Little pep in the step. All right, moving right along. How we doing on that poll? A little more divided on the last two polls than we have been so far this evening. And I'll tell you what, it's interesting. It's interesting to see. Definitely interesting to see. Oh, the numbers, they keep jumping, folks. They keep jumping around. They keep on moving and shaking and quaking and baking. Speaking of quaking and baking, I had some shaking bacon in a long time. I realized how many 80s foods I'm still like all about, like mac and cheese and sloppy Joe and shake and bake and stovetop and French fry pizzas, that kind of nonsense. Like, I'm still eating all that junk. In fact, fun fact about me, I don't like real vegetables because I mostly eat them from cans. Real ones taste weird to me because I haven't been sitting in brine for months, Man, my palate is not very refined. Anywho, let's check it out. I digress. I'm talking nonsense to eat up a little time while we go back to the poll here. All right, we're going to wrap the poll up, everybody. Hey, what's up, Kevin H? How do you do? I think I know who you are. Were you watching on Instagram a little bit ago? Because I definitely know you are. Kevin does say we can't be the smartest thing in the universe. I am actually able to check the Instagram chat over here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Nobody's watching over there, but I'm able to check it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna wrap that poll up. Here it goes. Ends now. Now this is a pretty decisive split here. The Tertullian Papyrus, according to 60% of the voting public here, is believed to be a real record. And we've got 40% who say it was a clever fake. So still up for debate. Still up for debate. These kind of things, they're the reason we do this kind of stuff. The enigma about it all, you know. The enigma about it all. You're right, R. Another close poll. Another close poll. All right, now we're rolling into topic number 4 here. As you know, we like to do 5 topics. I feel like we're I don't know if I'm moving a little faster than normal in an effort not to run over time, or if maybe I didn't get enough script going here. But maybe we'll see what happens. I might do a little bonus stuff. We'll see what happens. We'll see how things play out. Anyway, moving right along. The Rosicrucians. I got a little history with the Rosicrucians. Maybe I'll fill you in on that on the back end. However, put a pin in that one, Tina. If we have enough time, remind me to tell my Rosicrucians story. So the Rosicrucians, is this a secret cabal or mystical seekers? That's really the question. I want you to step into a candlelit chamber in 1600s Europe, where the whispers of the Rosicrucians, a secret order of alchemists and mystics, swirl like smoke. Are they pulling the strings of history or seeking spiritual guidance? We're going to slip into their shadowy world. So you're in a 17th century tavern, overhearing hush talk of anonymous pamphlets announcing the Rosicrucians. They claim ancient wisdom, mixing alchemy with mysticism, maybe even tied to the occult legend John Dee. Their manifesto promised a universal reformation of knowledge, stirring your curiosity. Today, groups like Amorc, born in 1915, carry their torch, and you're itching to know more. So the mystical rites unfold. Imagine you're initiated, clutching the rose cross symbol, diving into the teachings of reincarnation and cosmic harmony. The Rosicrucians blend Egyptian and Greek esoteric vibes, hinting at lost Atlantean secrets, though that's a leap. Their rituals are cloaked in secrecy, held in hidden chambers. You've whispered their chants, feeling the weight of their mystery, but what's behind the veil? You find yourself on the web, stumbling across wild theories. Rosicrucians secretly controlling global events, some say, linking them to Freemasons or the Illuminati. No records back any of this up, but the rumors, they do fly. Shadowy cabals pulling the strings. Yep. These platforms are buzzing with tales of their hidden power, yet it's all just speculation. You're wondering, are they rulers or just dreamers? So if you were to step into a scholarly study where dusty books reveal the truth, experts would say the early Rosicrucians were likely a literary stunt to spark reform, not a real group. No evidence of a 1600s order exists, just the pamphlets. Modern Rosicrucians are fraternal, not conspiratorial. Their symbols borrowed from other occult traditions. But is it all just idealism? You find yourself in a modern library with echoes of the Rosicrucians in books like Francis Bacon's New Atlantis and even the New Age movement. Online forums hum with thousands debating their occult legacy. Their ideas weave through art and philosophy and even esoteric retreats. So my question to you about the Rosicrucians is this a secret society or just spiritual dreamers? Let's rock with the poll again. There we go. So yeah, the Rosicrucians, and you know what? I think right now I'll take the time to tell you my Rosicrucian story. So when I began creating content, I had a partner by the name of Greg. Great guy. We're still in touch, but just we just I don't know, it just kind of fizzled out. It's a real shame, but I decided to plug on, and that was a low almost 11 years ago now. So with that said, when Greg and I first began working on these topics, we came across a story about an alchemist named Johannes Kelpius, who had come to our hometown of Philadelphia in the 1600s with his community to wait for the end of the world. And this led me down a garden path of various alchemists, where the breadcrumbs just led further down the trail. Governors of Massachusetts were into alchemy, and this guy in the woods was into alchemy. Maybe the Philosopher's Stone's at the bottom of a Philadelphia river. Regardless, I reached out to a very famous alchemist man. I'm not going to mention names because he wasn't very cordial in the end of our discussion. Kind of just pawned me off on whoever else would pay attention to me. But one thing I did notice, and this really sparked my curiosity, is that there is a monument outside of the cave of Kelpius, which is located in Fairmount Park in Philadelphia. To give you an idea what Fairmount Park is in Philadelphia, I want you to picture how you imagine Central Park. Central Park is a very large, big square park in the middle of New York City. Philadelphia's Fairmount Park is enormous, and it is even bigger than Central Park, and it is spread all throughout the city. It is a huge park system. Okay. But the cave is relatively easy to find, and we did locate it. But next to the cave, in the early 1960s, the Rosicrucians placed a memorial marker. It read the words Amorc, and the Ma'at was written above it. There was also an image of Egyptian scarabs and the like. So again, we began researching. That led me to do interviews with not only Egyptologists, archaeologists, as well as Rosicrucians. So I had an opportunity to speak with members of Amorc, the ancient mystical order of the Rosy Cross. At that time, I don't recall the woman's name who was president of the organization, but it was her, and I believe the other man's name was Julie Jeffries, and there was the other guy was an author. I do have his book. I can't remember his name either. It's been many years. This was like 8 years ago. And we went to Harlem to the Rosicrucian Outreach Center. Now, they're based out of San Jose. And we had a lengthy interview with an ample opportunity to ask very complex questions. I left with a lot of reading materials that they complimentary provided for me. Very interesting stuff. Neoplatonism, especially, something they lean into. But I will say that while Amorc does seem to have a very alluring potential to learn more about the esoteric, there is another order of Rosicrucians here in the United States, and I find this one even more fascinating. So in Quakertown, Pennsylvania, you will find a graveyard. It contains no headstones, for this is a Rosicrucian graveyard at the Fraternus Rosis Crucius, and here they bury their members with rose bushes to mark the grave. So what you'll see is a sea of rose bushes. They've also constructed a pyramid within the center of the burial ground. And it's not an enormous pyramid, but it's pretty sizable. Now, Fraternus Rosis Crucius has a building on their property called Beverly Hall. This is named for the famed occultist Pascal Beverly Randolph, who is credited with bringing the idea of sex magic to the New World. Pascal Beverly Randolph had been orphaned as a young boy on the streets of New York City, became a cabin boy, and because he was of African-American descent, he had access to places in the world where Europeans would not have been trusted with such information. He developed a vast working knowledge of the esoteric, and not only probably had immense abilities of his own, but he came back and started a publishing company here in the United States, and I believe he published over 65 volumes regarding to the occult and esoteric. Pascal Beverly Randolph, from my understanding, he was also a guest on Lincoln's funeral train, but because of the bigotry at the time, he was asked to get off and disembark. Pascal Beverly Randolph, a very obscure figure in the annals of the esoteric, especially in the modern world. But yeah, he's a connection to those Rosicrucians. And those are the only two orders I'm familiar with off the top of my head, Amorc and the Fraternus Rosicrucius. But I would say that, I mean, Amorc has like an outreach center, they've got a museum. You know, they seem to be a little more well established than this Fraternus Rosicrucius, which has probably existed for much longer. So I'm curious about the real goings on behind that. You know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Anywho, we're going to rock it right along here. We're going to talk about the lost city of Atlantis. But before we do that, let's check out the poll. Yeah, let's check out the poll. Okay, where we at? Pamphlets during a time when most couldn't read. Well, no, Kev, I think in the 1600s, you probably had a pretty good amount of widespread literacy at that point, because we're talking about the Renaissance. This would also be probably like early pre-Reformation times, because Francis Bacon, the New Atlantis, like that whole, like I believe the Reformation has a lot more to do with the New World Order than what we kind of see in the modern era. Like the New World Order was established after the end of the monarchies, which begins during the Reformation era and culminates with the conclusion of World War II. I mean, there are still monarchs around the planet, but they're not really sovereign monarchs with like absolute authority. They're largely figureheads. And at this point, I don't know if monarchy is such a bad idea. It worked for most of the world for a very, very long time. You know, you don't have this gridlock when you just got one person making the call. But you know, who knows? What do I know? All I know is this nonsense, and you know, it's pretty messed up. You know, like I was doing the numbers, and I probably have to go to work until at least noon on the day that they bury me in the ground. You know, I'll just have to use some sick time, I guess. I don't know how that works. That's the way we live. That's the way we live, right? All right, let's check that poll again. We're going to end it. Let's see what everybody had to say regarding the Rosicrucians. Is it a secret society or is it not? Well, yes, we got 94% of the vote believes that the Rosicrucians are a secret society. I will tell you this, as far as secret societies go, Rosicrucians were probably the most transparent, at least Amorc. They were very forthcoming with information regarding everything they were interested in. And I'm much more curious about Beverly Hall. But I mean, really think Rosicrucians get down to all that much weird stuff. I wouldn't understand like if there was something going on behind the scenes, but nothing I've ever been privy to. So I mean, I couldn't even conjure up what might be the case because it's so far out of my scope of expertise. You know, I mean, I like to read stories about people lighting candles and drawing circles on the basement floor with the various substances, but I'm not about to engage in those practices myself. You know, it's kind of like just because I watch the football game doesn't mean I'm going out for tryouts. You know, so that's kind of where I'm at. Anyway, let's see here. Tina, what's this? We're getting the old gang back together. What was that, Tina? Just re-up your membership? Thank you, Tina. Very kind of you. I appreciate that. Okay. Peter the Man says Rattlejaw. Thank you very much, Rattlejaw. Where else we got? Central Park with more dirt bikes. Yeah, you're right, Kev. You're right. It's a real Thunderdome over there. I don't even go back over here unless I have to. I'm actually going to be over there tomorrow. Yeah, I got to take my mom somewhere tomorrow in the morning over on Philly side of the bridge. So yeah, I'll be over there tomorrow. It's gonna be a good time. Love driving around Philly. It's a great time. But at least it's Sunday morning. Maybe if I got it early enough, it won't be so bad. Who be kidding? All the people from the night before will still be driving around. Yeah, Aura says at least you know who to blame with the monarch. I was really looking through the back of like you know the back end of history, and I was wondering if you know were kings really that bad? And for the most part, unless a king has a name like you know Unter the Awful or like Carlsberg the Bad, they were probably okay. Because there's very few kings that got those names, and like really revolt was always a real concern for the royalty. I mean, like there's only so many guards to protect you against the masses if you act like a nut. So you know it would behoove you to probably mind your P's and Q's. You know, I think about all that stuff was going on in France around that time, the 100-Year War and the Wars of Reformation and the Counter Reformation, all these kind of different things over the course of those histories. Yeah, it's wild stuff. Yeah. I don't know. It keeps me on my toes, though. Like I said. All right, so let's see. We are rolling into what do we got here? The Lost City of Atlantis, right? Is that where we're at? Are we Lost City of Atlantis? Yeah. Oh no, the Rosicrucians. I'm sorry, we have the Rosicrucians here. Oh no, we did this one, right? Yeah. Okay, no, we are at the Lost City of Atlantis. I lost my place. I scrolled away from the wrong thing. I got so many tabs open. Actually, at this point, I don't have tabs open. I'm using Windows. I've got like all these windows open. Crazy. I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Hallelujah. Christian Rosenkreutz, real or allegorical? That's a great question there. Hallelujah. Christian Rosenkreutz, for me, initially, I believe that the person who funded and spoke with the stonecutter about the construction of the Georgia Guidestones went by the name uh, RC. As an allusion to that Christensen, Christian Rosenkreutz. The Chemical Wedding, that's what it was called. I'll tell you, the Chemical Wedding of Christian Rosenkreutz. And look, it gets deeper than that. Like, there's so many alchemical figures that are absolutely fascinating, from Mary the Prophetess to Zosimos to Panopolis. It's just wild stuff out there to get used to and learn all about. So let's see where we left off. Okay, we were at the lost city of Atlantis, I believe. Okay. And again, getting short on time here, Did we close the last poll? Just want to see where we're at with that. Okay. All right, I think I'm all caught up here. Okay, all right, gotta move this up. Up. Okay, we're good. We are good. All right. Our last topic for the evening is going to be the lost city of Atlantis. After we wrap up, we're going to do about a 10-minute Q&A. So have any of your questions ready, any of your theories, any of your suggestions for new topics to cover in the next Midnight Mystery session, Dark Saying Live, or any videos you think I should investigate and make something about. For those of you who are unaware, I like the ancient, I like to call it the mystorical. The mystorical. It's not quite history. It's not quite mystery, but it's somewhere right dab in the middle. Can't get enough of that crazy stuff. All right. Okay. So our last topic, as I said, is the lost city of Atlantis. Was it a sunken city or just a morality tale? So we're going to set sail on a stormy sea, chasing the lost city of Atlantis. It's a fabled island swallowed by the waves. Plato's tale paints a utopia turned into tragedy. Was this a real place lost to time, or a philosopher's warning? Let us plunge into the depths. You're in ancient Athens. It's 360 BC. You're listening to Plato describe Atlantis, a naval powerhouse in the Atlantic, rich with gold and ambition. It defies the gods and sinks in a single cataclysmic day. His words feel like a warning, not a map. No earlier myths mention it, and you're left wondering if it's just a story. The sea roars, pulling you in. You're on a research vessel, sonar pinging the ocean floor. Theories point to Santorini or Crete, where Minoan ruins hint at a lost culture. Bimini's underwater roads excite you, but they're modern, not ancient. Atlantic scans show nothing, and Crete's digs yield no Atlantis. You're diving deeper, chasing ghosts in the waves. So you're debating with explorers now, and some say Atlantis lies under the Antarctic ice, a frozen relic. Others whisper of alien builders, though no evidence surfaces. Theosophists dream of spiritual realms like Lemuria. A few see it as a flood memory, maybe real, maybe not. And online, you'll find posts leaning towards a symbolic tale. But what is the truth? You're watching a sci-fi flick, The Mysterious Cities of Gold. It's Atlantis-inspired plot gripping you. Forums share maps of possible Atlantean sites, alive with debate. Santorini's tourism thrives on the legends, drawing you to its cliffs. The stories in books and games, it's in your imagination. So I'm asking you again to vote in my poll. Did I lose my place? I think I might have. Did I lose my place? We're going to set up a poll, right? I'll leave off. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Goodness gracious. Okay. All right. All right. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it went. I don't know where it went. Okay. Okay, we got that one. Yeah, we got that one. Okay, where we go. I'm sorry, I just have so many notes here. I'm not quite sure where I left off. Okay, okay. Okay, I think we got it here. Okay, you're watching a sci-fi flick. The Mysterious Cities of Gold. It's Atlantis-inspired plot gripping you. Online forums share maps of possible Atlantis sites, alive with debate. Santorini's tourism thrives on the legend, drawing you to its cliffs. I did that part, didn't I? I thought I did. Books, games, imagination. Yeah, okay. We were doing the poll. I'm sorry. That's where I left off. I meant to do the poll. I got so sidetracked. So I wasted enough time on that. We are now down to 9 minutes. And I want to do the Q&A. So we're going to wrap this up with the last bit of information I have regarding this fascinating topic. So you're floating above the ocean. The horizon is endless. Could Plato's tale hide a real disaster like a tsunami? Why does Atlantis haunt us after millennium? And are we chasing a myth to dodge its warning? Is it a mirror of our own world's risks? And what does it say about our love for lost dreams? Share your thoughts. So, yeah, there we go. All right. We've just lived through 5 spine-killing mysteries, from glowing goblins to sunken cities. Now it's your turn. I want you to flood the live chat with questions, and we'll tackle 3 to 5 of them in the next 10 minutes. Do you want to argue about the Mad Gasser scent? You got a hunch about Atlantis' fate? Let us hear it, and keep those live poll votes rolling, and suggest ideas for our next dive into the unknown. I want to thank you for joining live sayings. So let's get into the poll here. Let's get into the poll. Okay. Well, we got that poll wrapped up. We're going to do a little chat action here. Here we go. All right. Rattle Joe, I believe in Bigfoot. Yeah. Bigfoot, I'm kind of, I'm on the fence about Bigfoot a little bit too, because I could be inclined to agree that there is some kind of undiscovered lowland primate in North America. I could be inclined to believe that. I just can't believe that it's like 9 feet tall. And my issue with Bigfoot is the goalposts keep moving. When I was a kid, Bigfoot was a big dumb animal. Now all of a sudden he's more human than animal. And he's getting offended, and like they're calling cops on the Bigfoots, and the guys are showing up in werewolf feet to fight the Bigfoots. It's crazy. It's crazy out there. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so let's get these chat questions in here. Where are we at? So if you have a question directly, please do what Rattlejaw is doing there with the @ so I see my name highlighted. Rattlejaw, I believe in dark sayings. Well, thank you so much, Rattlejaw. That's great. I appreciate you. Yeah, yeah. So if you're having trouble seeing, just give me that little clickaroo, give it a little clickaroo. Okay. Spring-heeled Mac, I believe in creepy little books. I pro Antarctica's Atlantis. Could be a bit of truth. Interdimensional. I don't know. BF sounds like derogatory. I prefer Sasquatch. Sasquatch. Guri Augie with you know what? And this would have been some honorable mention stuff. The Eye of the Sahara, the Reikat structure. Some people do believe that is also has a connection to Atlantis, but I think they did some testing. And it's not in the age range that we're looking for. Okay, we're getting a comment here from Spring Hill Mac. It says, Pete Reed, Dr. Jacques Vallée, you get a new perspective, awareness of rather cryptids and UFOs. Sorry. New perspective, cryptids and UFOs. Like, yeah, I can definitely see that. It's not false advertising by any way to share before. It's definitely true. Okay. All right, I'm getting a little scatterbrained here, so let's keep rolling on. Any questions here? I'm pro Antarctica is Atlantis. Here we go. Guru Augie. Okay. Pete, read Dr. Jacques. Pete, read Dr. Jacques Vallée. You get a new awareness of optics and UFOs. There we go. Nice. The memory of the archaic hominid species turned modern folklore. Jack and John Keel were on the same page, says Spring Hill Mac. I could definitely agree with that. Lately these days, I feel like a good old, what was his name? Robert Ostman. Man, who had the misfortune to fall asleep next to a Bigfoot who carried him away in the woods, but that's a story for another day. All right. What do we got here for the questions? Atlantis, as we know it, was a kingdom that spawned from the Caroline Islands to everything encompassing the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, okay. So it's very vast. I know it's pretty large. It's it covers a lot of water, you know. But yeah, very interesting stuff indeed. I'm curious about the sea. Curious about the sea. Anyway, all right. We got any more questions here? Atlantis, encompassing the Bermuda Triangle. The big three-edged sword, I believe. Thank you, Spring and Mac as well. How you do? The younger Dryas could have ended it. That's just, that could be the case as well. That could definitely be the case as well. All right. So we are definitely winding down here. Got about 4 minutes left on the stream. So, again, I will take the opportunity to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I do appreciate you being here. Appreciate your time, your energy, your contributions to these conversations. And I'll tell you, I'm thinking maybe we got another video coming up this week. We'll see how that goes, and keep your eyes on the prize. Anywho, I want to thank you for joining Dark Sayings Live Secrets in the Shadows. I want to ask you to continue to stay curious and come back next Saturday. Meet us here at midnight where the shadows whisper. So again, thanks to our live chat moderator, Miss Tina Tomaszewski. This is generally a report where I would thank individual members regarding their support of the show. But, you can report to me next week if you got anybody into the program. You can, make some recommendations to some friends and family and see what is what. Mayorto, great seeing you, Pete. Thank you, Mayorto. Don't hesitate to check out that new video. Do not hesitate. I'm very proud of this one. It took so many years to get any information, and even then, it's a little thinner than I'd like it to be. But that's the price we pay. All right. Tina's dropping a link to that video as well. I'll probably do the same after all this wraps up. After all is said and done. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to cut this a few minutes early. Looks like we did it just right. Just right. It's just right. All right. So where was I? Tina, thank you. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate your time and your energy, contributions to these conversations. And don't hesitate to hit me up in my DMs with any particular idea for a show you might want me to tackle. It could be any weird. It's got to be some weird true crime. I'm not just going to do like angry husband comes home and things go wrong. It's got to be some weird stuff, some far out kind of mutant kind of stuff, Anywho. I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you, Tina. Thank you all, one and all, for tuning in tonight. Join us. I'm shooting again for Wednesday for the next live, the rather pre-recorded video. We should have a couple of the shorts going up this week as well. Let me check to see if I have a broken rib. Hold on, because I sneezed so hard the other day. I hurt my back, and it's been hurting like that for days. Yep, that's how it goes when you sneeze like a beast. No, I think we're going to be okay. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your contributions to these conversations. Please, please, please share this content. If you've got a Facebook, if you've got a Twitter, I want my Twitter to light up from all the shares you guys were out there doing. I want all these messages and notifications from Facebook and stuff that people are actually sharing this stuff. I really appreciate it. You have no idea how much it helps. So thank you very much. Until we meet again, this has been the Dark Sayings. Check out my old video, my new video, the Untersberg Prophecies. Check out the Untersberg Prophecies. This is a new video I posted tonight. All right. Until we meet again, folks, have a great night. Enjoy those slinking shadows on the Saturday night and Sunday morning. I'll catch you again next time. So thank you again, Tina Tomaszewski. Thank you, all the viewers. Have a wonderful evening. Let me get this thing closed. I don't know how any of this works. Oh, fiddly-dee. Fiddly-dee and fiddly-doo. Okay, I think we got this figured out. Give me a sec. Oh, okay. Very good. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead. Thank you. So I'm going to end this one, ending the live stream on Instagram. Cool. And I'm going to be ending the live stream now on Twitter and YouTube. So again, thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a good one. Don't forget to subscribe, yo. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend.